Sure. Ms. Frankel,
Thank you.
they did call votes, but we've actually,
well, I'm
believe it or
gonna
not,
be-
no, believe
I'm
it or
gonna
not,
keep my
even though we've
format.
had all this
Okay.
flexibility,
Well,
the timing is working out, so you are recognized.
Mr. Chair, you know I can't leave here without my three my's. My.
I was wondering when they were coming.
Okay, so I just want to advocate, you've heard this before, for the women of the world to have full access to the health care they need, to make their own reproductive decisions. And I know there is an issue that we can agree on, Mr. Chair, even though we don't agree on abortion. And that is combating female genital mutilation. The statistics are shocking. I've read all different ones, but it's believed that there could be up to 230 million women survivors right now, and that another 60 million in the next 15 years. And so, look, I know we all agree it's a cruel practice. It has lots of consequences, physical and emotional. So, Madam Administrator, can you tell us what we can do to help you? Because I know that USAID does not like this practice either. But what can Congress do to help you combat female genital mutilation?
Well, let me just say that notwithstanding all of the awareness raising and resourcing of program that you personally and that Congress has done, we saw UNICEF's report, and I'm sure you saw this as well, that the 230 million that you cite is a 30 million person girl increase over the last 8 years. Now, that is primarily due to population growth, but that's of little consolation to every one of those girls and young women. So the pace of decline is apparently going to have to increase 27 times, the pace of decline in terms of normative advances and enforcement of laws that are on the books, if we are to end this practice, as had been our hope by 2030. I would also note the Gambia right now, which is contemplating repealing the ban. So talk about going backwards, and that is just heartbreaking to contemplate. So, we are seeing leadership by clerics, faith leaders, communities, but often the loudest voices are coming from elsewhere. So, I think it's important, the funding and the resources that you have provided for this vital cause. Our work, I think UNICEF is doing a great job in the countries in which it is working. What is most important is local voices, local organizations, that the indigenous movements themselves get strength, and that is those voices are the most legitimate, obviously, in changing hearts and minds. So I think, again, recent news is a wake-up call that, as is the new UNICEF study, that there's more that has to be done. But really thinking, where is the leadership going to come from within the countries in which these populations are growing, and the practice is, because of those growing populations, spreading, notwithstanding sometimes laws on the books. So that's behind-the-scenes diplomacy, and it's resources for organizations risking a lot to lead on these questions.
Thank you, and thank you very much. And Mr. Chair, I hope that as we get through this budget process here, that we can take some time, maybe have a hearing we talked about on sexual violence against women, including this practice and including this as tools of war. We could have a hearing at some point.
Let me first thank you for your leadership on this, and we'll obviously work together and figure out if we can find the time and everything else, because it is a hugely important issue.